This is going to be the start of Foukelore episode 12, and for Team Foukelore, we're Bigfoot Investigations. We're out here on location near Bald Knob. It's an undisclosed location. We were supposed to do an investigation here, but it ended up getting rained out. We had to move to near Mountain View. Today, though, we're back down here at Bald Knob, and we're going to get Terry's encounter here, and I'm going to welcome him. Come on, Terry. Good to have you out today.
Nice to be here.
So we're just excited to hear about your encounter, and I'll just let you go ahead and tell what you want to tell.
Well, my last encounter, I was squirrel hunting over in Mark Tree on St. Francis, the Sunken Lands, WMA, and if round, I'd say close to noon, if not noon, I had shot a big fox squirrel and it hung in the tree. While I was shooting, trying to knock it out, then across the little slough from me, I noticed like trees and stuff was kind of rustling, moving sideways. I just took it as a group of hogs. Well, then I shot at the squirrel a couple more times to knock it down. That's whenever I heard the roar, and it hit me in my chest, and that's when I knew I wasn't dealing with hogs. And then when I reached to see if I had my sidearm with me, and I left it at the house, so I hurry up, I loaded back up, and then as I turned to leave, I noticed behind me to the right, it was starting the same thing, the trees rustling, and then the growls, and then all of a sudden it let out a hoot. Well, when I turned and I was heading actually toward the truck, just off out of sight where I couldn't see it, it was another one doing the same thing. And they followed me the whole way to my truck. I'd stop, they stopped, but I could still hear the grunts and the screams. And I'd start up, then I could hear them moving with me. It was like they were just pushing me out, telling me that
we've had that happen.
This is my land. I want you out of here. Mm-hmm. And I was worried. I didn't think I was gonna make it out the way they were acting.
We've been in the same situations and stuff like that, and it can get nerve-wracking, and you're just ready to get out of there. A lot of times they call it infrasound. I don't know, but you get a feeling that you just got to get out of there, and that's what you have to do, and just work your way out. They can be a scary event.
Yeah, whenever they let out the roars, I could feel it in my chest. Mm-hmm. And then, what would you say, Holly, 2.5 years later, I went back squirrel hunting there, and everything was fine. Didn't hear nothing. I made my squirrel hunt. When I come out at the gate where I parked, there was a tree pushed over. If I remember right, the first tree was pushed over this way. About 10 yards from that one toward the gate, there was another one pushed over. I mean, it was like today, just a light breeze. Well, I realized what it was. Well, I went, and I don't know if I have the pictures on my new phone, but on my old phone, I took pictures to show that the trees were pushed and didn't fall.
Right.
And then as soon as I got the evidence I needed of what it was, I ain't even put my gun in my scabbard. I just threw everything in the back seat and I left out sideways because I knew that I was being warned again.
Yeah, that occurs that way. And it's different from different areas. Sometimes you have Bigfoot that's just moving through, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call them. The Indians have different names for them. And sometimes you have some that lives in a particular area and grow there and have a whole clan. It just depends on the area. And we've noticed that around the national forests, where there's a big area of land and everything, that the group usually stays closer to that national forest. They may forage out and get food, but they go back to it. Anything else you want to tell us about?
Well, then also I spoke with the game warden who worked that area, and I asked him about if there's anything weird happening, and he was just like playing it off at first. And then when he seen I was serious, he kind of chuckled a little bit, kind of put his head down, and he looked at me and said, well, just give you a little information. If you see one, don't harm them. And then I mentioned to him, I said, well, I thought y'all said they didn't have any. He told me, he said, well, we actually let it out that they are here. He said that there's a clan that stay in this area. They just roam up and down to St. Francis. He said, but if we were to let people know they were here, they would be hunted.
Yeah.
He said, so we're trying to keep it hush-hush. And He told me, he said, just if you see them and they're just observing you, don't worry about it. He said, but if they're doing what you told me they did, just ease on out. He said, they're just letting you know they don't want you here right now.
That's been our experiences too. The lady that's let us come to this area is her name's Nikki. Would you want to be on camera and tell about anything that you've had happen around this area?
That's fun. Lived here since I was a kid. I mean, actually, we grew up here. We cleared this land. We cleared it back a little ways more than what it is. We haven't been out here in years. But we had a trailer set up right through here. And you'd come outside at nighttime, right before it turned dark, stand out in the woods screaming, and it'd go silent. Couple days passed when I broke my toe when I was a kid. Me and my friend were out playing back out in the edge of the field. We heard something walking, heard a stick break, and looked over. Something leaned up against a tree about 6 foot, really hairy, looked kind of like a human, honestly. And scared both of us. We both had to look at each other and ask, did you just see that? Did we really just see that? Is that what's standing there? A couple of days later, I seen it standing out in back of the pasture, right outside the gate. About maybe a year later, coyotes running down the edge of the field, something big. You could hear them just chasing it. We got to noticing out in the woods that there was a doll of mine that I blamed my brothers for years. Why'd y'all hang my doll up in the tree? That's my favorite doll. It was hung up too high for them to even have done it, so I should have known better than them. We noticed that not too far from where the doll was hanging, there's what appears to be a nest. A bunch of trees that look like they'd just been pushed over on top of each other and stacked, and a hole leading up inside of it. We never got brave enough to go in.
Right. Well, we'll check it out today and see what we can find and any new signs. Report back with all y'all. And like I said, this is going to be on our new show and episode at the beginning of it. And we'll catch y'all later. Tell us about what we got here, Dale.
Well, we've been following some tracks there, and I noticed there was an oddity about one set of tracks that we've been finding. They had 3 toes, and I thought, well, maybe, but I kept seeing them. That's the 3rd or 4th time I've seen the same track. This track up here was up on the dry, and I think it hopefully it had enough definition we can get a good casting off of it. But it's got 3 toes, one big one and two of them about the same size, around 19 inches long. So everybody cross your fingers this thing comes out. Well, we had a little luck up at the Bald Nub area, the new area we went to. We found a kind of an oddity up there. We found a creature that had 3 toes. We thought maybe it was just maybe an injury, but then we started finding lefts and rights. And this hasn't been cleaned up yet. Letting it dry just a little bit longer, but you can see the big toe here. There's another toe here, and then there's the other toe that comes out this way. And it's about 19 inches long. Pretty good sized animal, whatever it was. And as soon as it dries, and I can clean it up with my air hose and everything and get all this trash out of it. Send some pictures to the window and we can put it on the site.
Catch y'all later. Howdy, folks. Team Foukelore is going to be near Mountain View, Arkansas this weekend conducting a Bigfoot investigation. We're going to meet folks at the Timbo Dollar Store. So that's where around 1 o'clock for anybody that wants to go. Our team is excited and ready to do some Bigfoot scouting this weekend. All right, folks, we're out here near the Foukelore National Forest here near Mountain View, Arkansas. We're going to do some Bigfoot investigations this weekend if the weather holds. It's a little cloudy and a little rainy right now, but I think we'll be able to get the investigation in. We're going to do some scouting this evening for tonight's investigation. All right, talk to you later.
Man, internet, you know, all this ribbon they've been giving me and stuff. So I'm sitting laying there and I'm fixing to lay back down and directly, bam, right through the teeth. I mean, just, man. Oh, I thought he grabbed you. Well, he grabbed it at the side of the tent when I got out of the way. But you can see the tent doing this stuff, you know.
Video here. We're out here by base camp, just starting the perimeter walk. Look at this structure. And walk on around where you can get a better look of it.
Yeah, that's just kind of ain't happening by itself.
It's got two trees that's bent over, and then it's got a stick in the middle that's holding it. And just kind of crazy looking. All right, that's first thing we've seen just here at camp. All right, folks, I was standing up there in the road by camp, and this A structure here caught my eye. There's just two trees that's pulled over, and one's holding the other tree up at the top. That's amazing coincidence. It just fall in all the wind, and it still holds it up. It's broke perfect. We get over there, both of them trees is broke and pulled together. And then, what caught my eye, if it looks like a eyesight place, there's a bent over tree behind it, and if you look through that, you're kind of like a scope that's looking at the other mountain, where we call it the canyon. It's kind of like where do you go? You go to the canyon. But that's not all the interesting stuff. When you get over there, that's about a very odd coincidence that these two trees have fell and holding up themselves like this. Possible. I'll get over there and show you the base of them. Both of them, that one's been pulled over that way. This one's been broke off and stuck back into the ground that way. Then, what's the odds of right underneath this A right here, there's a scrape on the ground. It looks like a deer scrape. There's no deer tracks around it. Either something's been standing there, wallered the ground out. It looks like a scent spot. This is an area that gets a lot of Bigfoot activity, and more in the springtime. Is it mating season? Don't know. Do they mark a spot? Possible. I'll leave it up to you to think about it, and we'll be back in touch. A-frame. Tracks around it. And what's the coincidence that a deer would pick to be right underneath an A-frame tree and make a scrape?
Right.
So that's what we was talking about. Do Sasquatch, this is a hot spot this time of year. We think it's because of mating activity. Do they leave a scent marker? I don't know. But that's sure weird. And it's the second second sign, symbol, tree structure we found within 200 yards of each other.
Right.
That's more corroboration. When
Yeah.
you get something that close.
Now where's that bold tree? Right there?
Right here.
Oh,
Bold.
yeah.
And normally that means that it can happen natural, but I always like to check them and everything. Is that if the Indians has done it or something, there's a water somewhere close. It's just odd that it lines right up with the A-frame. That's what caught my eye. You walk off to the edge of the pier there,
Yeah.
there's a big old hole of water right down there.
Makes sense.
Where the two.
There on that stuff there. Where it snapped off those trees way up on the hillside over there.
Oh yeah.
Those are pretty good ones up there.
Definitely, like you're saying, this area has a Patterson-Gilmore feeling. It's out. It's nowhere. Nobody's here. Ain't been here for a long time. Crazy places you go Bigfooting.
This is way out here. We're literally on the edge of a bluff line. Right above the bluff line.
But that's just a side plus if we could find that lost silver mine.
Yeah.
It's good to get videos like this and you can go back and watch it. A lot of times you see stuff moving and you're like, I didn't see that. All right, welcome to the 2023 spring Bigfoot investigation. We're back out here near Mountain View in the Foukelore National Forest, an area that we've done a lot of research in. We've got Dale Bullock here, myself, Neil Huff, Robert Taylor, and cowboy, as we call him. He's over there asleep in the truck. He done had a rough day getting here, he said. So we'll go from there. We'll just introduce anything y'all want to say. We'll go from there. Start with you, Dale.
Okay, hi, I'm Dale Bullock. I'm from Heber Springs, Arkansas. I've been going out on these things with Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel for quite some time now, and really enjoyed it. It's a good group of guys. Our first place got rained out, and I was really glad because I was wanting to come back up here. This is one of my favorite spots to be. It's a lot of activity, and I'm hoping we have some good times this time too.
Robert, you want to say anything? No? All right. Yeah.
I'm Neil. I'm from the Oak area. I also go to Hartford. First time I've ever been up here. This place is awesome. Man, we're pretty far out here in the woods. There's structures everywhere. I'm looking forward to tonight. This is going to be really exciting. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah. We've had a lot of activity today. We've had 2 found 2 structures, actually 3. Neil found one when he come in right here by camp. We went on a scouting trip down to what we call the canyon. We'll probably go more in that tomorrow and do more scouting, depends on the weather. But I think it's going to be an exciting night and a good start to the 2023 investigation season. See y'all later. Leaving base camp, headed out to the canyon area that we call it. That's where we're going to do the night investigation. Got anything you want to say, Marcus? How about you, Neil?
Wish us luck. We're going to have the thermal and night vision with us. Hopefully we get some good footage.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a while once we get there to quieten down, and then see if we get hear anything or anything like that. We can get on night vision. Then a little while later, I'm gonna do some call blasting on the speaker here, and we'll go from there and see what we have, and what we can get on video and record. And Robert's back there too, so it's me, Robert, Neil, and Marcus. Wish us luck. Out, I'm doing some night recon.
You're not realizing the boats pull the boat car forwards into it, and there's feet high forward. You want to go around that thing. See, on the other side of this mountain is right where it's at. I mean, not on the other side of this mountain, just around that bend on the other side of this.
Fixing to do a wood knock, see if we get any response. Marcus over there. Alright, Marcus. We're out on that Recon's 2023 Bigfoot investigation. We hadn't run into any real activity yet. Heard a few sounds, but our thermal's done, battery went dead.
You know it's sad when Bigfoot left his balls in the woods.
Yeah.
You hear what I said there, Wendell?
Yeah, I heard you. Bigfoot left his balls on the tree. Done got hung.
Right over here, guys. Alright, cool.
Never know what you'll run into out when you're Bigfooting. Just gotta be prepared for anything. Did y'all hear that? I heard a locator call that way.
That's what I wanted to show you.
But it's from back over the other side of the creek.
These are house.
Pretty cool. Good water source year round, probably. Good to note. What's that? Oh yeah. Oh, it come from up there, but
That right there would come from right there. So I would say that's probably the bump. Probably just caught it from there.
yeah. That growl.
Back to the vehicle, what do you think?
All over raccoon.
That ain't a raccoon.
Something.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot. Small, but
Yep.
using a thermal vision. Looks like it's sitting down.
They're on that stuff there. Where it snapped off those trees way up the hillside over there.
Oh yeah.
Those are pretty good ones up there.
Definitely, like you're saying, this area has a Patterson-Gilmore feeling. It's out. It's nowhere. Nobody's here. Ain't been here for a long time. Crazy places you go bigfooting.
This is way out here. We're literally on the edge of a bluff line. Right above a bluff line.
But that's just a side plus if we could find that lost silver mine.
Yeah.
It's good to get videos like this and you can go back and watch it. A lot of times you see stuff moving and you're like, I didn't see that. Well, things you run into bigfooting. You got any words, Neil?
Yeah, I'm about to start a camera too. I goofed up. Every time I go on an investigation, something happens. Another piece of advice to new researchers: if you're going to be out in the woods, be sure you have a jack to change tires.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start my own video.
One of the
Rule number 74: be sure you have a jack. You don't have to call other researchers to come help you.
Because you never know what'll happen. Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it'll go wrong.
It will with us. Yeah, I actually have 86 fire plugs in my truck. Rubber cement or things to put them in with. I have an air pump. I have an air gun, 120 pounds of air in it. But that won't do it for a while. 25 feet good, but then I got a little more than 25 feet. Yeah, and I got a real heavy duty pocket. Had to use them a couple of times.
At least it gives us, like I said, an opportunity to get out and do a little research here. everybody, just gonna wrap things up for this 2023 spring Bigfoot investigation, the first one anyway. We had some activity right around base camp last night. Had some rocks thrown in. Something was on the recorder sound that we had up, walking around and snorting. We ended up finding one Dale did set of tracks and trackway. We did our night investigation last night. Found a new area that we need to do more scouting in when we get back up here. Today we was all fired up, gung-ho, and got up early. Was going to scout that area. Do some other things and other places that we wanted to go check out. But we ended up having a flat. I had to spend 2 hours. We can get Marcus there to bring us equipment to change that flat. Then we got back to camp. Was talking about what we was going to do. Marcus went to get some more help that we was going to do some scouting with, and ended up his four-wheeler broke the belt, so he had to pull his four-wheeler back. Then we got back to camp and ate a bite and was fixing to figure out what we needed to do and where we was going to go this evening, and found out Dale had lost his keys, so we had to go back about 4 miles back into the refuge and look for Dale's keys. We ended up finding the keys and everything, got back, and it's just late, so part of our team had to leave, Neil, because he didn't want to drive home he didn't have no spare. So we're just gonna call it a wrap and head back to our base camps and regroup and plan a different day. Had some good fun and learned a lot, and we'll just try this again some other day. I want to thank everybody for being in the group and watching our videos, and we'll just catch you later. Talk to you later. Bye.